What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plants. 22 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 13 wins by way of knockout, 30 years of age, 6'1" with a 74-inch arm reach. He took on and brutally knocked out former WBC super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Anthony the Dog Dirrell, who's now 34 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 25 wins by way of knockout. Twice in his career, he was knocked out. 38 years of age, 6'2" with a 74.5-inch arm reach. Okay, they fought last night, the co-main event for Deontay Wilder, Robert Helenius fight. There was a lot of build-up, a lot of trash talk with this fight. And Caleb Plant in the 9th round absolutely obliterated Anthony the Dog Dirrell in the 9th round of that fight, okay? And afterwards, obviously, Anthony Dirrell, he was stating that, Caleb Plant, he never, was in a dog fight, he stated that he never fought any real opposition, he was kind of downplaying Caleb Plant and Caleb Plant's accomplishments and things of that nature, okay? And so he stated, when Caleb Plant said that he was going to dominate him and stop him and knock him out, Anthony Dirrell, he was like, man, that ain't going to happen. You ain't stopped and knocked out nobody. You ain't dominate nobody. Who did you fight? Anthony Dirrell's former world champion, fought some big names. And, Anthony Dirrell, he just not a believer in Caleb Plant. And Caleb Plant said that, okay, if I fought all guys that were bums according to you, then what does that make you? So it made this fight very interesting, entertaining fight. I thought Caleb Plant was winning the fight, and Caleb Plant brutally knocked him out. So that got people, to start to question what's next, obviously, for Caleb Plant. This was the first time we saw Caleb Plant back in the ring since he lost to 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who's now the undisputed super middleweight world champion, in Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is widely considered the face of the sport of boxing, top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, okay? They fought for undisputed, and Canelo Alvarez, he stopped and knocked out Caleb Plant in their fight. And so this was the first time we saw Caleb Plant back since then. And everybody, obviously, like I said, they questioned and, they wonder what's next. Obviously, the big fight in the super middleweight division before Canelo Alvarez decided to make his home the super middleweight division, the fight to be made was Caleb Plant versus still undefeated 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer David Benavidez, Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, who's 26 wins, no losses, no draws. Okay, 23 big wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age, 6'1.5" with a 75-inch arm reach. Okay, so David Benavidez and Caleb Plant was the fight. That was the big fight in the division. Okay, that was the biggest fight in the super middleweight division. That was the fight that everybody wanted to see, and it didn't come to fruition. Okay, then we had obviously the global pandemic, and things just didn't work out like it seemed to be planned. And so then Caleb Plant ended up fighting Canelo Alvarez. David Benavidez was stripped of his WBC title, due to missing weight on the scale. And prior to that, due to recreational use outside of the sport of boxing, which saw him stripped twice of his belt. So David Benavidez has never lost his belt, obviously, on the scale. He was stripped twice of his belt, for outside the ring activities. People could say, well, the second time he missed weight. Well, that's outside the ring, right? That's, that's on you. That's what you do outside the ring. So that's the biggest fight in the division. Now, since Canelo Alvarez recently, he fought Gennady Triple G Golovkin in a trilogy match. He doesn't seem to have much interest in fighting David Benavidez. He stated that David Benavidez had never fought many good fighters. The only fighter he fought that was a world champion was Anthony Dirrell. He hasn't done much in his career. He has no interest in fighting other Mexican fighters. So Canelo Alvarez shows little or no interest in fighting David Benavidez. So on to the next, right? there's bad blood between Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. And according to my sources, David Benavidez and his team are now saying they want to make that fight happen next, okay? They want to fight Caleb Plant next, right? Obviously, David Benavidez is very confident. He believes he's going to beat Caleb Plant. Not impressed with the victory over Anthony Dirrell. Caleb Plant, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I thought he did better than David Benavidez, against Anthony Dirrell. I thought until Anthony Dirrell suffered a major nasty gash, although it was due to, the work rate and the punches of David Benavidez, I thought Anthony Dirrell was outboxing David Benavidez until that point. I thought that David Benavidez, the nasty cut that Anthony Dirrell suffered was a distraction. He kept pouring at it. He couldn't focus on the fight. But up until that point, he was outboxing David Benavidez. He was getting the best of David Benavidez, in my opinion. I thought that Caleb Plant was clearly outboxing Anthony Dirrell last night. So I thought that the performance for Caleb Plant was better than that of David Benavidez. But nonetheless, the triangle theory don't work. I'm just comparing the actual performances against a mutual opponent, okay? And so with that said, this is a huge fight that needs to come to fruition. It's long overdue. Long overdue, okay? And so, it's a fight that definitely needs to happen, okay? Caleb Plant, he said that he's not truly interested in a fight with David Benavidez at this moment, right? And obviously David Benavidez represents that, but he wanted to focus on the Anthony Dirrell fight before anything, okay? So this is a fight that needs to be made. It's a fight that's long overdue, and there should be no more waiting involved, okay? Many people feel like, that Caleb Plant is avoiding David Benavidez. Many people have felt in the past that Caleb Plant was avoiding David Benavidez, but there's actually conflicting reports, because David Benavidez manager, Samson Lickowicz, he stated that David Benavidez wasn't ready for a Caleb Plant fight. So he wasn't interested in making a Caleb Plant fight happen at the current moment, because he felt like David Benavidez wasn't ready for a Caleb Plant fight. But everybody says that it was Caleb Plant that's avoiding David Benavidez. He's ducking David Benavidez. But his manager, Samson Lickowicz, and even when it comes to other fighters like Demetrius Andrade, he's like, we gotta negotiate for $10 million. So it's like he's setting the bar so high that it's like putting David Benavidez out of reach for other fighters. But it's like they're focused on a fight between David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez. But again, like I said, Canelo Alvarez has no interest in fighting David Benavidez. Zilch. So it's pointless to keep harping on it and pushing for it. You might as well go ahead and make your qualms, make your name, build up your resume. Like you said, you fought no other world champions, right? Now Caleb Plant has fought Canelo. He's fought, he's fought Canelo Alvarez. He's fought Anthony Dirrell, Jose Uzcategui, so he's fought 3 world champions now, right? So David Benavidez focus on fighting Caleb Plant now, instead of trying to attempt to fight, Canelo Alvarez, because that's just simply not going to happen. They have to force Canelo Alvarez to have a reason to fight them. And at this moment, he fought Gennady Triple G Golovkin, and it looked like he don't have no other route, to go but to fight a David Benavidez. But who knows, right? Because Canelo Alvarez himself is set his sights on a rematch with, Dimitri Bivol, the guy who last beat him before he had this Gennady Triple G Golovkin rematch. So he's focusing on Dimitri Bivol. Now, Dimitri Bivol, he has a fight coming up against Zordo Ramirez, his mandatory for his WBA light heavyweight title. and there's no guarantee he's going to win that fight. But Dimitri Bivol beats Zurdo Ramirez, Dimitri Bivol is willing to sacrifice his WBA light heavyweight title. He's willing to sacrifice and come down to 168 to fight against Canelo Alvarez, okay, at Canelo Alvarez's weight. So with that said, should Dimitri Bivol beat Zurdo Ramirez, expect to see Dimitri Bivol and Canelo Alvarez at 168, because he'll oblige Canelo Alvarez and he'll come down to 168 to make that fight happen. So I like David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. I actually think that I actually give Caleb Plant the edge. I've always given Caleb Plant the edge over David Benavidez. The problem is durability, right? David Benavidez has a high work rate. He has power in both hands, very, very fast hands. He lacks in the defense department, but he has a very high work rate, put a lot of mental and physical pressure on his opponents. Caleb Plant in the second half of fights has shown that he has faded. Now, he switched training. He's with Breadman. Now he's with, he has strength and condition coach and Larry Wade. He looked good in the second half of the fight against Anthony Dirrell. But Anthony Dirrell wasn't putting the same physical and mental pressure on Caleb Plant that David Benavidez will. David Benavidez lacks in the defense department. He's defensively irresponsible, and I think that Caleb Plant could take advantage of that over a duration of 12 rounds if he stays disciplined. But if he don't stay disciplined, David Benavidez could stop him. Like, I thought Caleb Plant was winning the first half of the fight against Canelo, and in the second half, his durability started to play a major role, and he faded in the second half, and he got knocked out in the second half. So I think that if that reoccurs, that would be the same outcome against David Benavidez. But if his stamina and his durability is able to stay up through 12 rounds, then I got him outpointing David Benavidez, who gets hit a lot. So it's going to be very, very interesting, and it needs to happen. So David Benavidez, they want to make the fight. They've always said they wanted to make the fight. They're not impressed with the victory, and they want to get it on. Let's see if Caleb Plant accepts it. He says that he's looking for the biggest fights out there. Hopefully he accepts this fight with David Benavidez. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share the videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.